Welcome to StoryPath English. I am so happy you have found your way back to our circle today. Please, take a moment to really settle in. Find a place where you can relax completely, perhaps a soft armchair, or lying back on your bed, or even just sitting quietly in a space that feels safe and peaceful to you. Imagine, if you will, that we are sitting together once again by our warm, glowing campfire. The night is vast and silent around us. The stars are so bright, they look like spilled silver across the dark velvet of the sky. The air is soft, carrying the faint scent of salt and cedar wood. The only sound is the gentle crackle of the flames and the rhythmic breathing of the night. Tonight, I want to take you away from the solid ground beneath our feet. I want to take you out across the vast, deep, and shifting blue of the Atlantic Ocean. Today, we are going to explore a mystery that has puzzled the world for nearly a century. It is a story about a place where the rules of the world seem to bend, where compasses spin in circles, and where ships and planes simply vanish. We are talking about the secret of the Bermuda Triangle. Close your eyes and imagine a map of the ocean. Picture the coast of Florida at Miami. Then, draw a line out into the deep sea to the beautiful island of Bermuda. From there, draw a line down to Puerto Rico in the south, and finally, close the triangle back at Miami. Within this patch of ocean, about 500,000 square miles of water, lies one of the greatest puzzles in human history. To the eye, it is paradise. The water is a brilliant, translucent turquoise. The sand on the islands is as white as sugar, but beneath that beauty, there is a legend of shadows. Have you ever lost something and felt that strange, sinking feeling in your stomach? Perhaps it was your keys, or a favorite ring. You look everywhere, but it is just gone, as if it evaporated into thin air. Now, imagine that feeling, but instead of a set of keys, it is a giant ship with 300 people on board, or a squadron of 5 military planes. No wreckage, no oil slicks, no bodies, just empty blue water. The story that truly made the world stop and look at this triangle happened in December 1945, just after the end of World War II. It was a beautiful, clear afternoon in Florida. 5 Navy bombers, known as Flight 19, took off for a routine training mission. These were not beginners. The men were experienced pilots, and the planes were some of the best in the world. They were supposed to fly out over the ocean, practice their maneuvers, and come home in time for dinner. But a few hours into the flight, something strange happened. The lead pilot, Lieutenant Charles Taylor, radioed the control tower. His voice sounded different, not the voice of a confident officer, but the voice of a man who was deeply confused. He said, "Everything looks wrong. Even the ocean doesn't look as it should." He reported that both of his compasses had stopped working. He didn't know which way was north or where the sun was. Can you imagine being in that cockpit? Around you is only the endless blue of the sky and the sea. You look at your instruments, the things you trust with your life, and they are spinning wildly. You look at the horizon, but the line between the water and the sky has begun to blur into a strange white mist. The radio signals began to fade into static. The last words heard from Flight 19 were, "It looks like we are entering white water. We are completely lost." End quote. 5 planes and 14 men vanished that day. But the mystery grew even darker. A massive rescue plane with 13 more men was sent out to find them. Within minutes, that rescue plane disappeared too. In a single afternoon, 6 planes and 27 men were swallowed by the silence. No trace was ever found. No piece of metal, No life jacket, nothing. It was as if a door in the sky had opened and then snapped shut. When things happen that we cannot explain, our minds often turn to the supernatural. Have you ever wondered if there are things in this world that science simply hasn't caught up to yet? For decades, people have come up with wild and wonderful theories about the Bermuda Triangle. Some say that the lost city of Atlantis lies beneath these waters, and that its ancient, high-tech power crystals are still active, sending out energy beams that interfere with our modern electronics. Others look to the stars. They wonder if the triangle is a sort of portal or a wormhole, a place where the fabric of space and time is thin, allowing extraterrestrial visitors to snatch up our ships and planes for study. There are stories of pilots who claim they flew through a special cloud and emerged hundreds of miles away in just a few seconds, having traveled faster than any plane possibly could. These stories are exciting, aren't they? They speak to the part of us that loves a good ghost story, the part of us that wants the world to be more magical and mysterious than it seems. But as we sit here by the fire, let us also look at the hidden logic of the ocean, because sometimes the truth of nature is even more incredible than the fiction of aliens. Scientists have spent years studying the Bermuda Triangle, and they have found several secrets that might explain the disappearances without needing to look at the stars. The first secret lies in the Earth's heart. Most places on Earth have a difference between true north and magnetic north. Navigators have to do math to adjust for this. But the Bermuda Triangle is one of the few places on the planet where true north and magnetic north align perfectly. If a pilot doesn't realize this, and he tries to adjust his compass as he usually does, he will end up miles off course, flying deeper and deeper into the empty ocean until he runs out of fuel. The second secret is hidden deep on the ocean floor. Scientists have discovered massive fields of methane gas trapped beneath the seabed. Every once in a while, the Earth shifts, and a giant bubble of this gas, some as big as a football stadium, rises to the surface. When a gas bubble like that hits the water under a ship, the water loses its density. The ship can no longer float. It doesn't sink slowly. It drops like a stone into the abyss in just a few seconds. If a plane is flying low enough, the gas can even stall its engines. And then there is the weather. Have you ever seen a storm come out of nowhere? In the Bermuda Triangle, the Gulf Stream flows like a powerful, invisible river within the ocean. It is incredibly fast and turbulent. It can move wreckage hundreds of miles in just an hour. This is why we often find nothing the ocean cleans up after itself before the search teams arrive. But perhaps the most terrifying natural secret is the rogue wave. Imagine you are on a large cargo ship. The sea is a bit rough, but nothing you haven't seen before. Suddenly, out of the dark, a wall of water 100 feet high rises up in front of you. It is a monster wave, created when several smaller storms collide at just the right angle. These waves have enough power to snap a steel ship in half. They come without warning, and they vanish just as quickly. When we combine all these things, the compass errors, the gas bubbles, the fast currents, and the giant waves, the mystery starts to look like a very dangerous but very natural environment. But there is one more factor we must consider, and that is the human heart. Think about being a pilot or a sailor in a place that everyone says is cursed. When a small thing goes wrong, a light flickers, or a radio crackles, you might begin to feel a touch of panic. And when we are afraid, we make mistakes. We turn left when we should turn right. We misread the map. Perhaps the greatest secret of the Bermuda Triangle is not what is in the water, but what is in our own minds, our fear of the unknown. Did you know that despite all the stories, insurance companies like Lloyd's of London do not charge higher rates for ships traveling through the Bermuda Triangle? Statistically, it is no more dangerous than any other busy part of the ocean. Thousands of ships and planes cross through it every single day without any trouble at all. They see the beautiful sunsets, they enjoy the warm breeze, and they reach their destinations safely. So, why do we keep telling the story? Why are we still fascinated by a mystery that science can mostly explain? I think it is because, as human beings, we need the great unknown. We need places in the world that still feel a bit wild, a bit untouchable. The Bermuda Triangle reminds us that for all our satellites and our GPS and our clever machines, the ocean is still a vast and powerful force that we do not fully control. It reminds us to be humble. It reminds us that there is still so much to learn about our own planet. As our campfire begins to burn low and the orange light turns to a soft, glowing red, I want you to think about the people who were lost in the triangle. Whether it was a rogue wave, a gas bubble, or something we don't yet understand, their stories have become a part of our world's folklore. They remind us of the bravery it takes to head out into the horizon, not knowing what we might find. The mystery of the Bermuda Triangle is a story of the deep blue, a story of science, of legend, and of the human spirit. It shows us that the world is a place of layers. On the surface, it is a vacation spot. Below the surface, it is a graveyard of ships. And in our minds, it is a place of endless questions. Take a deep breath. Feel the stillness of the night around you. The stars are still there, steady and unchanging, even if our compasses sometimes spin. The mystery of the triangle doesn't make the world a scarier place. It makes it a more interesting one. It reminds us to keep looking, keep asking, and keep wondering. Thank you for sitting with me today at StoryPath English. It is always a pleasure to share these quiet moments of discovery with you. As the fire fades and the shadows lengthen, I hope you carry the calm of the night and the spark of curiosity with you. The air is cool now, and the forest is quiet. May you always find your way home, no matter how confusing the horizon may seem. May you have the courage to face the unknown and the wisdom to understand the world around you. Sleep peacefully, or walk into your day with a sense of wonder in your heart. Until we meet again by the fire, remember that every mystery is just a story waiting to be understood. This is the story of the Bermuda Triangle, and this is StoryPath English. Goodbye for now, my friends.